Hello guys, this is Professor DK and welcome to another episode of the simple login app using the database series. So in the last video, we uploaded data onto the storage section of Firebase. So in today's video, as you have guessed from the thumbnail, so we'll be retrieving data from the storage and then displaying it in our profile activity. So I know it has been around 3 weeks since I uploaded the last video. So I'm sorry about that. I had my exams. So without any further ado, let's get started with it. It feels great to be back at this again. So before I actually go into the functionality of this video, so let me just address the key changes which were done. So I would firstly start with saying that I have upgraded to the latest Android Studio 3.1.1. So I've seen that some of my subscribers have hopped on to the latest version of Android, which is 3.1.1, and I guess even 3.1.2 has been released. So anyways, so anything above 3.1.1 will remain the same. So the main issue right now is I have subscribers who are below 3.1.1. So I mean, it's never a problem since the beginning of Android. I've observed that whenever there was a new version or a new version of Android released, so there were key changes with regard to the performance and the different experience that you get from Android Studio IDE. Alright, so the code etc. used to remain the same, so that way there was no problems with it. But however, with Android Studio 3.1.1, there have been major changes with regard to syntax. The Java code, however, will remain the same. However, with regard to the build.gradle file, right? So if you open the build.gradle file at the app level, so you will see that there has been a couple of changes in 3.1.1. So compile no longer exists. So compile has been changed to implementation. So if you actually go ahead and build the project after you have upgraded to 3.1.1. So if you're asking me how do I upgrade to 3.1.1, so it's the same process. You go over to help, you go ahead and check, click on check for updates, and then Android Studio will open a prompt dialog saying that there's a new version or there is a new revision, whatever it is. You can just go ahead and update that and then restart Android Studio. Okay, so when you do that, you will see that your project since it is if you have observed my previous video, the compile SDK version was 26. However, here it is 27. So did I change that? Did I do anything? So absolutely not. I have not done anything here. So what I have done is I have only just clicked on all the different possibilities, options that were thrown at me by Android Studio. So when you upgrade to the latest version, Android Studio will prompt you by saying that please change your Gradle build to 4.4.4 or something like that, and then you just need to go ahead and follow the on-screen instructions. Just go ahead and click on each and everything that Android Studio suggests you to do, and all of this will get added by itself. Okay, so when you upgrade to the latest version of 3.1.1, so all of this will get added. So if you have something different, do not worry, Android Studio is taking care of you, so no problems there. However, you will face some errors here because it is because of the different compile SDK version we are using with regard to the latest change we have done. So anyway, I'll deal with this. So before that, so if you are on any version below 3.1.1, I recommend that all of you upgrade to the latest version so that we can stay on par with each other, and the errors will have a certain amount of uniformity to it, and it'll be easier for me to help you out as well. Okay, so because of the major changes, so I recommend that all of you hop on to this latest version, and it will also make the future videos easier to understand, and the compile what you see here will be deprecated by the end of 2018. By deprecated, I mean that Android Studio will no longer support the syntax compile. Okay, so first change that you need to do in Android Studio 3.1.1 is change all of the compile to implementation. Okay, also, so test compile will become test implementation, and Android test compile here will also become Android test implementation. All right, so if you're not serious about changing this, okay, so you must be thinking that, okay, if I do not change this, will this work, all that. So it will work, but you'll get a lot of errors because if you go to all the websites today, so they'll be giving you implementation with the Gradle dependency. So all the Gradle dependencies that you'll see on the websites today will have implementation in it and not compile. So that way you might get confused. So I think it is better you change to this. And if you do not understand how this works, so you can might as well go ahead and create a new project, and then you can once the project has been generated, you can check the Gradle file in it, and it will have this implementation rather than compile. Okay, so once you have done this, we can go ahead and click on sync now. So you must be asking me, how do I know what changes to make? So if I go over to their website here, so this link will be provided in the description. So under migrate to plugin, so under migrate to plugin 3.0.0, you see that they tell you the different changes that have happened. So as you can see here, so here it says that the new configuration is implementation instead of compile. Okay, and API is another replacement for compile for certain cases, which we'll be learning in the upcoming series slowly. So I do not want to deal with that in this video as such. Okay, so there are other things which we haven't used, so you need not worry about this. All right. So guys, I hope you are understanding what is happening here. I mean, I'm talking a lot here. I'm giving you out a lot of information which is not, and I've not yet started with the actual functionality of this video. Alright, so I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. So if the Gradle build finishes successfully, then we are good to go. We can go ahead and do any type of coding. So this is actually the foundation of every app. So if we make sure that this works fine, so we can go ahead with the coding. So hope you are on the same page as me. If you have any errors during compilation, or if your Gradle build fails, so make sure you comment below. I'll try to answer as much as possible. The responses have been overwhelming on different platforms right now. I'm seeing that you text me on Instagram. The response has been massive. You actually find me on different social media platforms and try to interact with me there. That's great. I try to respond to as many as possible. However, it becomes tough. So make sure you join the Slack community and help yourselves out. So there are everyone like-minded people. So you have all the like-minded people there. You can help each other out if you have debug the same error. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to change this to the latest version, right? So the compile SDK version changed when I upgraded. So obviously I need to change this to 27.1.1. that is the latest version. Okay, and along with this, so when you click on sync now, it says that a newer version of Firebase is available. So let's just go ahead and upgrade everything to the latest version, so that everyone is staying up to date with what is happening and you're not facing any errors. Okay, so 15.0.10 was the latest version which was recommended to me. So if you just keep your cursor on this, so it shows you the latest version which is available. So I'm just going to change all of this to 15.0.0. okay, so this is still showing error, saying that there are multiple versions which are found here, so that's why it's throwing an error. So this happens because we do not have the support design library. So you can go ahead to the support libraries website. I'll provide this link in the description below. So you will have this design support library dependency given here, so you can go ahead and add that as well. So firstly type implementation and then single quotes, and then type in or paste the dependency. Okay, and then click on sync now. Hopefully the error will now go, guys. So there's one more thing that I would like to say. So when you do this, I don't know if your Gradle dependency file looks exactly the same as mine, so you might have other errors as well. So if Android Studio is helping you out with the errors, just go ahead and blindly click on what Android Studio suggests you to do. So that's a very good place to start with. If you cannot solve it, so make sure you just comment it below and I'll help you out. Alright, and a newer version of constraint layout is also available. So I'm gonna change that as well. So as you can see here, I'm getting this warning each time when I compile. So basically it's saying me that the configuration compile is obsolete and has been replaced with implementation. So it will be removed by the end of 2018. Okay, so this is just a warning. So this hasn't failed my Gradle build, so no problems there. Alright, so the Gradle build has finished successfully. So now that everything is settled, so we can go ahead to the coding. So in register activity, here is where we have sent the data onto the storage aspect of Firebase in upload task, right? So now we need to retrieve this image. Okay, so for that we'll go to the profile activity we had created. So in profile activity, so we have defined our image view. We have assigned it to the corresponding XML ID as well. So let's create an instance of Firebase storage. So Firebase storage, and so after Firebase database, I'm gonna get the instance for that. So Firebase storage with the small f, and here you need to give the capital F Firebase storage dot get instance. Okay, make sure you don't get confused between these. And once we have done this, so we can just create the reference for the Firebase storage, right? So storage reference, call the storage reference as well, is equal to, so Firebase storage dot get reference. Okay, so this points to the root folder. So this points to the root of the storage. All right, so next thing that we'll do is storage reference dot child. So inside child we need to specify Firebase auth dot get UID, because that is where the data is stored. You need to give the exact path to where the image is stored. So it's under Firebase. So if you remember, so this was the path. So it is user ID / images / profile pic dot jpg. All right, so dot child. So in the second child you need to provide images, and you can have another child, or you can just do a / profile pic. Make sure you have the cases and the typos in the same way as you had mentioned it in registration activity. So profile pic with that space as well. And once you have done that, you need to get the download URL. Okay, so get download URL dot add on success listener. Make sure you use the auto generation feature of Android Studio, and inside the parameter you need to pass new on success. Just type that and click on enter. Android Studio will auto generate it for you. Close the statement by using a semicolon, and then so here we are retrieving the URI, right? So this URI must be passed on to the image view. Okay, so to load the image onto the image view, so we have this popular tool called Picasso. So you must be asking me, why can't you just do something like what's our image view name? So it's called profile pic, right? So what if I just do profile pic dot set image URI? Okay, so there's this option called set image URI, right? So will this work, right? Okay, so why doesn't this work? So when you do a set image URI, so the URI basically should point to where the data is located. Okay, however, the URI that we are obtaining here is a URL to the data which is on the Firebase. All right, so this is not directly the data, it is however a link to the data, right? So that's why this is gonna throw an error and it's not gonna work. So you first need to do something like an HTTP request, retrieve the data, and then put it onto the image view, right? So I hope you get the point. So it's more like downloading the data and putting it into the image view, and this is more like telling the image view that I'm just giving you the URL and just put the URL. So that's obviously going to throw an error. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So anyways, let's go ahead and add Picasso library to our project. So you can go ahead and search for Picasso. So you should get this library. I'll add this link in the description as well. Okay, so Picasso is a powerful image downloading and caching library for Android. Okay, so this is what we need. Okay, we need to first download the image and then set it onto the image view. So that is why we'll be using this popular library. So there are other tools as well, like Glide, so you can use that as well. So I mean, it's your choice. So I'll be going with the most popular one. So it's damn simple here. You just need to do a get and you just need to load the URI into the image view. Okay, so we'll be doing that. So firstly we need the Gradle dependency. So for that, if you just scroll down, you will see this Gradle dependency. So as I mentioned before, all of the websites that you see today will have this implementation rather than compile. So that's why I'm asking you to switch over to the latest version so that you don't get confused. Okay, so just go ahead and copy that and then paste it onto your Gradle file. I hope I'm not complicating this, guys. So I want to keep it as simple as possible, but then the huge change that happened. So I just hope that the uniformity is maintained across all the users who are watching my videos. Okay, so hopefully all of you can complete this video. Okay, so this warning, you need not worry about that. Okay, so once the Gradle build has finished, I am seeing that there is some error which says that I need to have some support exif interface. Okay, so there is some mix of versions, so you can just go ahead and add that particular so in support libraries, as I told you, there are different libraries which you can add. So if you want to force some library to use the latest version, you just need to do that. So I'm just going to add the exif interface library here. So make sure you add the implementation. So implementation, and then put it inside single quotes and then press sync now. I don't know why this warning keeps popping up each time, even though I have replaced compile with implementation. So anyway, close this, and yeah, so all the errors have gone. So if you're facing any other errors, so please do let me know in the comments below. So I mean, even I'm tired of repeating this, and even you're tired of hearing this. So anyways, so we're back here. So inside here, we first need to call Picasso. Okay, so Picasso dot, so you can just check the website on how to use the library. So Picasso dot get dot load. Okay, so we'll just do that. So Picasso dot get dot load. You need to pass the URI, which is nothing but what we have here. So the URI and dot into, and the target is nothing but profile pic, which is our image view. All right, so we have retrieved our data. So this basically downloads the data, and once the data has been retrieved, it will put the data onto the profile pic. Okay, so you can also have caching mechanisms implemented in your app. So it has all that features, so you can do that as well. So the different options that Picasso provides are available on their website, so you can customize it to however you want it in your app. Okay guys, so this code basically load the image onto our image view. However, as you know that in our activity profile, the image view that we are given, it has that 1:1 aspect ratio, and the image might not fit properly. So for that, you can just add in two other parameters. So you can do a dot fit and dot center crop, so that way your image will always fit exactly into the image view, and if it is in excess, it'll be cropped. All right, so it'll be a perfect fit, so you can add that as well. And you can also bump up the image view. So here I have increased the layout width and height to 200 dp, so you can do that as well. And based on your screen size, right, so you have different screen sizes which are available here. So based on what screen size you're using, you can just change it to that. So I have a 5.5 inch phone, so I'm just changing that, and based on that you can adjust the other elements in the layout. So once you're done that, you can just go ahead and run the app. But I've seen that some of you had a problem in the previous video. So when you had to select an image, there was a problem in the gallery section. So you could also go ahead and add the permission to read and write into external storage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. So read external storage and write external storage, so make sure you put that in as well. So with these two permissions added, I guess you should now be able to go into the gallery if it's not visible. Make sure that when you select the image, you choose the default file manager which is available, so it will have all the default permissions, so you can use that. So in case it isn't working for you, just add these two permissions and enable these permissions in your settings, and then try again, and it should hopefully work. Alright, so now that everything has been settled, you can go ahead and run the app. And also let me know if you want to know about how to cache the images. So I'll maybe cover it in the next video. So let's check if everything works. Okay guys, so I have the app running here. So when you run the app, make sure that you go over to your settings and delete all the existing data, and also make sure that you go over to Firebase website and delete all the existing users. So now that I can go ahead and create a new user, so let me just maybe call it Duncan. So let me give the email as duncan@gmail.com and password as 12345678 and age as maybe 20. Alright, and let me just choose an image quickly. So here guys, so you have a lot of options provided. So this is what I was talking about. So if you're not able to see the image from your gallery, so make sure you set the permissions and then you should be able to see it. So the best possible way is to make sure that you choose images using your default file manager. So I'm gonna click on that, and it's gonna I just put some privacy on that. So open your file manager, and in that I'm just gonna select some images. So I'm just gonna select this image of mine and click on OK. So my image should be seen, and then I'm gonna click on register. Alright, so it says that successfully registered and upload is complete. So I'm gonna go ahead and register. So duncan@gmail.com was the email ID that I specified, and the password is 12345678. Alright, I'm gonna click on login, and I'm gonna click on profile. Okay, so now based on the size of the image, it's gonna take some time and display the image. So it took roughly 2-3 seconds. So this was talking about. If I go back and again click on profile, it will again try to download the image. So to avoid this, I was talking about the caching feature which is provided by Picasso as well. So if you do not know how to implement that through the website, so make sure you comment below and I'll try to implement it in the next video. So in the next video, I'll be showing you how you can click on the edit button and also provide the option of changing the profile picture. So that'll be covered in the next video. And since it's only a small part, so make you can also put down in the comments what you want to see next. So in the last video I showed you how you can also upload applications and other image, audio, video, etc. to storage as well. So if you want to download that and display it in your app, and if you want to know how it is done, so make sure you comment below. So I'll try to cover that in the next video as well. Alright, so this is it for this video guys. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also do not forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on any of my future videos. And it feels great to be back at it again. So I'll be uploading consistently every week. So thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next video. Until then, happy learning.